Right, vetoes. Let's talk about map vetoes. Now, we've got Ban and Protect, and I get that, and I get that it's great. But this is more about map vetoes, right? So, I think map vetoes should come back. We haven't had them for a while. They have kind of disappeared. There are reasons for that, of course, of which we need to look at before we can talk about the positives, really. So, one of the main excuses, there is a bigger one than this, but this is one of the main ones, is time. Organisers are saying there's not enough time to do map vetoes. Not enough time. I don't like that. That's for me a non-excuse. It really isn't. I'm not saying we do vetoes and everything. I'm not saying, we must always do vetoes. When we're doing single elimination, I think vetoes are an absolute necessity. I don't think you can do it without them. And we should have been doing it. Double elim, I think you should probably still have them. Maybe not in the group stage if you're going groups in a double elim, but definitely double elim. Let's start doing it because those games are very important. But you could do it everywhere. So time, I think, you realistically should have the time to get those map videos done. Now, the reason people say this is, it delays the game. Well, do them before the game. The captain's definitely going to have 2-3 minutes spare to go ban, pick. It's not rocket science. You don't need live ones. It'd be great. It'd be great to get them live and see the analysts, especially the great ones that we had at MLG, get them and go, well, this is this and this is this, but just have them before the game, bring them up, and then they can talk about it. It'd be fantastic for them to see them. I think it's necessary. I think it'd be brilliant to have them before the game and say, well, all right, now we can look at this team and this is why they've banned it, and they've been like this recently on this map, and these guys, that's their best map. The other team thought, we'll take them on it. We think we can actually beat them. They haven't vetoed it. We've got it. It's a good pick for us. It's all these kind of great things you can talk about, almost like a flavour. All right, but that's, time. For me, it's an excuse, but it's not really an excuse. It just isn't. I think it can always be done as long as you're a little bit organised. And, a captain can just get it done. It shouldn't take that much. They should realistically know what they want. The big excuse, the main excuse, right, and this goes all the way back to Ghosts, is same maps. We're going to see the same maps, Brice, over and over again. We've seen that sometimes anyway, let's be honest. But if maps are continuously being vetoed or taken out because they're fluky or players don't want to play them and it's the same maps, probably need to look at what maps are playing anyway. Let's be perfectly honest here. There's got to be a reason that these maps are being vetoed. So, if teams are always vetoing this one map, why are they vetoing this one map? And it also is, it kind of brings it in to this very interesting point I'm going to bring up in a second. I mean, taking away like Octane Dom, like that happened a lot. That was actually back, I think it was like Tommy and Swanee, and that's best map back in the day. But when they went to America, the Americans always banned it. But here's the interesting thing about it. If, one of these teams goes, we're going to ban that map out again, whatever. Well, that technically should give the other team an advantage. Because at some point, a team's going to be like, well, we don't want to ban it out. But if they're going to take that map away, well, then we'll take their best map away. So if a team's banning it just because it's fluky or annoying or whatever their reasoning is, if it's not a genuine, we suck at that map, they're great at it, then that gives the other team an advantage because the other team then gets, it's almost like a free ban or a free pick, essentially. So I think that's realistically, I don't think it's a problem. I think it definitely needs to be tried again. We haven't tried it in years. I think it's a good time to try it again. I think it will help a lot. And the players have already been speaking about it. They really, really do want it in. And it'll be fine. But again, let's take Stronghold CTF, for instance, right? The European CTF is very, very slow, and I'm sure some players are like, all right, we don't want to play it then, all right? But let me give you the scenario. Team bans CTF on Stronghold. That's their ban con. The other team, they gets to pick between the two of them, right? Gets to pick between the maps left. They can pick whatever they want. That gives them the advantage. If the banning team is banned out, Stronghold CTF, the enemy team, who might go, we get to play our favoured map then. So it shouldn't happen. I mean, it did happen, but it shouldn't happen again. I don't think it's enough of an excuse to not try it. I think peace of mind for the players and the fact that it's easy to benchmark the players and there's no more worrying about, turning up and, oh, damn, we've got bad maps. These are all our worst maps against this team. We're actually fairly equal in skill level. But those maps favour them more. For me, that's just not cricket. It really isn't. I really don't want to see that. This kind of brings me onto the next kind of excuse, all right? And I hate this excuse. This is the worst excuse. Teams should be good at all maps. All of them. No. What kind of insanity is that? Oh, they should be good at everything. You know what? I'll give you a grant that theoretically, yeah, that's great. They should be good at everything. They're professionals. However, they might be better at one thing than they are at another thing. That's pretty much how it works. In fact, that's how competitive COD works. Teams being better at one thing than another thing. Otherwise, we just draw an awful lot. It also doesn't make sense. Like, if a team's weak in an area, they can work on it and try to get it out of it. And if a team does that, it gives them advantage to ban and protect again. Oh, it's our weakest map. We can ban it out there until we can work on it. But that other teams also ban that map. If we worked at that map and become better than them, it's actually a good pick for us. But you can't say they're going to be all good at all maps. That's like saying, oh, all players should be really good at COD. They are. But they're not as good as each other. Otherwise, everyone would get top one. Wouldn't make any sense, would it? Sometimes you just can't change things like chemistry, play style, mentality, the way these players interpret the map, the way a team is built, the tempo of the team, strategy, all these kind of things. That's why we have so many different play styles on teams, so many different ways of teams actually, and let's sit there and talk about the differences in teams. And yet you're saying, by saying they should be good at all maps, that they should all be the same? Come on. I don't think it's a good excuse. If a team chooses to ban out a map because they don't want to scrim it or practice it, which is another excuse, by the way, that puts them at a disadvantage in the ban and protect. Right? Puts them at a disadvantage. Why? Because if they don't scrim a map, what they're actually saying is we're going to remove that map from the map pool, and the other team, again, might be terrible at that map. So we've banned a map. The other team, bans one, we get a pick. They get a pick. Or probably the other way around, they ban and then pick. And then we pick. You've given them the advantage. Just because you've done something silly and just gone, we don't want to scrim it, we won't play it. You've basically taken away a map from you. You've taken away a choice for yourself. That's what you've done. I don't think it's right. I don't think so. I don't think any of these excuses I'm talking about are good enough to take away vetoes. Because things like practice, like you're saying, they should be good at all maps. Well, that just means if everybody just practiced everything and become good at all maps, then that means everybody should be the same. I just don't like that excuse. I really don't. So why vetoes? Why do I want vetoes? Why is this in here? Well, apart from double elimination at MLG, which was great, still think you should have it in. Single elimination, best of sevens. You want to say to a team, well, look, 7 maps. You've got to take away your worst. We've cut off your best. We've cut off your worst. Right now, you lose a best of 7. There's no excuses. You had the choice to ban these maps out. You've got to realistically just kind of be honest with it. It helps with benchmarking. It's very difficult to benchmark teams sometimes. Now, I've spoken to teams before. They're like, dude, we never win that map. We suck at it. Well, how do you benchmark a team? 2 teams, similar skill level, or miles away, but one team gets their best maps because of a random draw. The other team gets their worst maps because of a random draw. Best map team wins. Other team might actually be better. They might be better, but we don't know. We can go, let's take, Mill versus Rise. Spoke to the Mill guys at ESWC. I think they said 1 or 2 of the maps really didn't go in their favour. I think the final lesson day they just don't like. They're really, really bad at it. And that probably means they need to work on it. But if it wasn't that map, if they got to take away, top and bottom, would that have been a different result? I don't know. Because right now, you just got to say, well, Rise are better. No questions asked. And you're right. And right now, we're right to say that. We are right to say that. But what if it was different? What if we knew unequivocally, map-wise, doesn't matter. There's no excuses then. There's no way to second-guess a team. Then when, these teams match up again and the similar a veto system comes in again, so, well, actually, the veto system's gone pretty similar here. And this is what happened last time. So Mill may have actually done something a little bit different. Rise may have done something a little bit different. Worked on those weak maps, worked on the stronger maps. Is there a difference here this time? They lost that by a very, very narrow margin. They got smashed on this map. Why haven't they taken that out this time? You know, all this great things you can talk about and benchmark teams properly, so you know where they should sit. And also, then you've got, you know, you find out teams' best and worst maps and take those away, and it allows the teams to also do a little bit more digging rather than just turning up and be like, Infection Uplink, boys. We have tried to get better at this map. We're still, you know, like maybe middle tier. We were the worst, we're now middle tier at it. But they're top tier at it. They're literally the best team we've ever seen on this map. How is a professional player supposed to deal with that? Knowing that, and as much as it's mentality and they go forward, just knowing that that's not in their best interest. It's not their best map. You know, maybe if it was like Breach Uplink, they're like, yo, we rock Breach Uplink. We smash it. We can beat these on it. But then you go, well. After that, you go, it was Infection Uplink, you know. Obviously, you know, I'm going to take Rise and Millennium again. Don't know why they're stuck in my head. Rise smashed Millennium and Uplink. Clearly the better Uplink team. Ruined them. And then, you know, maybe they match up again in the tournament. And you're like, Uplink again. Of course it's Rise. But it's Breach. And Mill smashed them. You're like, amazing. Better maps for them this time, maybe. But we should have known that before. We shouldn't have to wait for a rematch to figure out what's going on. We should just be like, this is the ones they picked, they're banned away, all that sort of thing. We get to see that kind of clarity come through. So I think Vetos are great. I think Vetos should be done. I think it's time to kind of reintroduce them. I know a lot of people are skeptical. I know there's a lot of issues that have been going on. I've kind of covered them here because I want to talk about the positives, but you have to look at the negatives to look at the positives, right? I want to know if you agree. I know a few players have been tweeting about this. They want them to come in, and I agree with them. I think it'd be great for me to benchmark a team and kind of figure out where they all sit, and the way they interact as well. No random draw. The teams are making these decisions. It also kind of shows their mindset, whether they're feeling. You know, they practice the map. Maybe they go, you know what? We're okay at that map, but we're definitely better than them. So do we take that one or do we take the other one? What do we ban? I don't know. For me, I love it. I think it's fantastic. I hope you guys agree. I've looked at the best and worst reasons, and I think most of the excuses are probably not good enough to not at least give this a try again. I definitely want to see it. I know some players want to see it, especially like 100%. If you're doing a best of 7 single elimination, I don't think you can do that without Vetos properly. I think it has to be with Vetos. Just has to be. Especially like if it's just one, it was single elim, and I would like to see it in double elim as well. All right, it's important. But that's been me kind of ranting on about this. I think it's something I'm very passionate about, something I do want to see. But let me know what you think about this. I do appreciate you watching this video. It's been me kind of shouting at you. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.